Welcome back, community. In this aftermath update, the unthinkable has come to pass in losing one of the community's longest and most pristine scenes, online and offline in the IP's history to the last decade damn near of the fighting game community locals and niche socialites. This was the follow-up I really had second thoughts on going through with, but for the sake of the community and understanding lore in the community itself to really highlight a lot of noteworthy history that had all happened that night of December 18th, it's imperative that I finish my work. So if we're going to suffer losing one of BlazeBlue's biggest pillars, then we'll simply suffer and mourn as one community. So here, I'm breaking down and summarizing the start of this announcement. Then we're going to rewind to the closing wrap-up of that night in the community. Then I'm going to discuss MastrCheap and Red E30's closing Google documents and their statements. Lastly, I'm going over the community's newest steps and backup that was created about June, July of this year as a couple of the other community leaders put in place a contingency plan so when they lose the pillar, they have something else that can try to take its place respectfully. So the community still has a central point of navigation for its Discord town hall, so to speak. Everything in between all of those WNF battles before we reach the point of no return, those are going to be a separate self-analysis video because it's not directly affecting this. It's affected by this, yes, and it's linked lightly to this brand and its IP, as it's what drove me into wanting to be better competitively again. But it's more complicated than that, and so respectfully, it's easily to another separate assessment from this focal point to MastrCheap and E30's creation here and the impact it's had on the scene for many other people's stories very similar or comparable to that. So embracing and acknowledging a very dark week ahead upon the land, starting into 2026, we're commencing part 2 of the Wednesday Night Fight Chronicles and documenting the end.
That it's coming to an end, and I can really thank Atkins for being such a consistent partner for me since the beginning, and really glad I got to commentate with him at the last stop. I could see no other better way to end it off. So big shout outs to him for commentating with me and like everything that he does. Big shout outs to our streamer Ready 30 for holding up the streaming side of things and doing a mighty fine, fantastic work, making sure that everyone at home gets to watch the BBTAG action from the comfort of wherever they are. This operation wouldn't be the same without him. And another irreplaceable person, of course, is our wonderful T.O. MastrCheap, holding it down on the bracket side of things, able to control the chaos of the just immensity of this tournament very well. Big shout outs to him. All these people that I'm with right now are amazing friends, and I'm really glad that I got to bond with them over the past 5 years. And even though that WNF is coming to the end, things are just beginning for the all of us, and I do hope that even despite the fact that WNF is coming to a close, that the BBTAG community will be going strong in the future. And hey, I saw like 100 plus people watching this bracket. This is a very special occasion, of course, but it's really awe-inspiring just to see how many people still support our small, relatively niche anime fighting game even after all these years. I mean, hell, name another weekly that can get up to like $3,000 in a pot for between 2 weeks. It's man. I feel like I have a lot of things to say about WNF, but honestly, just for right now, all I can really say is thank you for everything that the community has done, and thank you to the wonderful people that I've gotten to bond with over the years. But for the final time here at WNF, this is Lonlily signing off.
There it is. I coming to this moment, I imagined all the things that I would want to say and how long-winded and heavy it may feel. But at the same time, I think just like this chapter is closing, but there are still way more chapters to form and so much more that I want to give to the community for moments like these, the tournaments like these, and brackets like these, or the community like this. I just want to keep creating moments for my favorite game and my favorite community. It does, I will say that this does hit like especially deep for me because, for the vast majority of people, this is saying goodbye to like an online tournament series. For me, this is saying goodbye to my first local. Because my first tournament I ever went to was WNF like offline in like 2015. So WNF has been a part of my life for like 10 years. The definition of that has altered so much throughout the years, where it was originally for Street Fighter, and then it ended up becoming for BBTAG, and then it became an online series, and it's been an online series in the state for the past 5 or so. I'm a completely different person. I used to just show up, go 0-2, and say no words to anybody, and now 10 years later, I'm talking live in front of 100 people, laughing my ass off, and holding back trying to call somebody ass for 4 hours. And it's great. Joining this community has given me a lot of confidence and has shaped me to be a better person. I genuinely mean that shit, like in terms of just like how my personality has been able to blossom, and it's just been able to being able to spend time enjoying shit with people that enjoy the shit that I enjoy, for lack of a more nice way to put it. I'm super appreciative of being able to commentate with Lonlily for this last one. The feelings are mutual through the multiple hours and days that we've commentated all these WNF brackets. I'm very appreciative to E30 and MastrCheap. They were the ones that gave me pretty much my first commentary opportunities ever. That has spurred off into a variety of different things. But I mean, without them, there definitely is no Crackin Atkins. Also, I want to give a shout out to, the Level Up series and Alex Valle and the crew around there. I know that like their like umbrella and hosting of things has been more and more reserved as time has gone along. But I mean, this is their tournament series. They kicked it off in the first place many years ago that has been running under that umbrella. So shout outs to them. And yeah, just shout outs to the community, man. I could go like really on and on about like my experiences here and how much it means to me. But again, ultimately, I think at the end of the day, the thing I come back to is like, this is the end of a chapter closing here at WNF. One that I'm going to miss sorely. Wednesday nights will definitely not be the same after this, but something I can hold my head high and say, I'm really glad that it happened. I'm really glad that I've been able to be a part of it. I'm really glad I've been able to share it all with you all. And by that, I mean the players, the people that are watching, and the people in this VC. These have been no special moments of my life. I would say in the pandemic, these moments may have been shit that like saved my life on some real shit. And I just love this game. I love the scene. And that's about it for me.
Words can't do this justice, man. Words, I don't know if I have the words to say, honestly, but just thank you. Just thank you so much to everybody who showed up, supported, commentary, played, watched, contributed, all of you who are here, who have been here throughout all of these years. It means a lot. It means a lot to hear all of this. I told myself I wouldn't cry, but here we are. been wonderful seeing all of you rise up, grow as players, as people, make all of these connections because, in part due to us running this each week. Man, God. On the one hand, I should have wrote something out, like a script to write, but honestly, like, no, that wouldn't have been as much from the heart as what I want to say now. Just, again, just thank you so much to everybody. And sometimes I forget just how much we've meant to all of you, and the messages that I've gotten, the words that people have said these past couple of days have really put it all into perspective. And I just really can't express how grateful I am to all of you for, again, just supporting us and doing this thing that we honestly didn't know we would continue all those years ago whenever things were forced to online. But I'm glad that it grew to what it has become and what it's been. And it's gonna be weird. It's gonna take a lot of getting used to for me, for E30, for all of the crew to not come together in a VC at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday to run this. And I'm still seeing people in the chat saying, "Oh man, oh, I don't want to have this last too much longer. It's 11 p.m. already." But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to Lon. Thank you to Atkins for being here tonight and for being part of this for so goddamn long. Thank you, E30, CJ, my brother in arms, for doing this each and every goddamn week, man. I said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it as many times as it needs to be. You have been such a trooper being here, especially each and every goddamn week that you can, helping me out with this bracket, with this event. And it just wouldn't be the same without you, man. As Atkins said before, just a big thanks to Alex Valle, Jimmy Wynn, all of the people who put this all together all those years ago for WNF offline and allowing us to still bear the name throughout all of this. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, honestly. I'm gonna be a blubbering mess if I continue anymore, but still. Thank you so much, everybody. And it's been a wonderful run. And I'm glad that it's culminated in all of this. Alright. With all that being said, after all of this wild ride, this bracket that we've had couldn't have ended in a much better fashion. Thank you so much to all of you for tuning in. And this has been MastrCheap, T.O. Bracket Runner, host, commentator. As throughout all of these years, it's been a pleasure doing this for you all. And I'll look forward to seeing you all in all of our future brackets that everyone else is putting together. E30, I know it's a tough act to follow with all of what I said, but please give us our final closing statement, man. Take us away.
Man. Oh god.
Keep trying to taking breath.
Give me a sec.
You're good. You're good.
Oh god. Alright. Want to get the first things. I just want to say that I just feel so blessed to have all of you on this call with me and doing this together. Because I'll be honest, there's some fucking dark days. There's been a lot of dark days since the time we started since from where we are now. It's because of you guys that I'm able to just persevere. This is... There's been so many days where I just want to give up on this. Just not do it anymore. Even go so far as to just give up on everything I wanted to do, but just... Every single time you guys have roped me back in and reminded me that we're all here, we all enjoy this stuff, we all want to support each other, and just even from that, even the things that transcend beyond the game. Just take care of each other and just love each other. And just seeing everyone here, just the exponential growth of everyone that I've just witnessed, whether you're a player, or just especially for you and Atkins, how much you guys have grown as commentators. It's just full bias, full glaze, but you guys are unmatched in terms of your synergy and your commentary on the mic. Out of all the people that we've been around with throughout the entirety of this scene, whether it's online or offline, it's just you guys are the best, hands down. I appreciate you guys just persevering with us the whole time and just you know, just finding great commentary, just being amazing people to be around, you know, I have doubts all the time, but it's just, you know, I feel so blessed to be able to work with you guys this whole time, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Just, again, I don't imagine this is the last time you guys will commentate, but just now and forever, thank you both for just lending your voice, spending time with me and Cheap on whatever weeks that you could. It's just it means the world. Cheap, Cyrus, you know, we've worked together at offline events, and you know, just when it's offline, and just, you know, I couldn't ask for a better TO for all of this. Yeah, it's even just from even going to WNF, I didn't think of it much back in the day, but you know, just I remember some of those conversations just walking back to the parking garage and just telling me like, you know, I'm gonna guy's ass next. I'm gonna do what this isn't gonna happen again. You getting, you know, a place you're unsatisfied with. You know, just I didn't think that I'd be doing this with you for the past 7 years. So, you know, again, you as well, thank you for just being here, being just an outstanding TO, just making sure everything runs great, and you know, even beyond that, just being such an amazing friend. You've on that. You know, there's a lot of people that have their competitive goals in mind, and that's totally fine, but one of the things I've appreciated throughout the years is that just even if we're just enjoying the same game, we've been able to just bond through outside of playing it, just, you know, spending time playing other games, going out to lunch, seeing each other in person after just a tag for just years on end. It's an irreplaceable thing, just how much all of you mean to me and all, and the scene at large too, with how much support. Despite all my doubts, it's a sobering thing, just hearing all the words of love these past couple of days and even weeks, ever since we made the announcement. It's been a wild ride, and I thank you all for joining us for it. I could go on for hours, but I think I got what I needed to out of my system.
I don't think it's any stretch of the definition to say that you all are like a second family.
Oh, 100%. Not to jump back in, but I think there's, for all of us in this call, there's at least been one Wednesday out of the past, like, 5 years, since that's the extent of time we've been working together, where it's been like, dude, I don't want to hop in, right? Where it's just like, we're scheduled to hop in, and it's like, I don't want to hop in, I don't want to persevere. I know that, like, those times for me definitely came within, like, 2020 and 2021, with all the things that I was going through, but I can safely say every time that I did hop in, I didn't have any regrets, and it was the brightness that this Discord VC and this game and this community was able to bring. And it's all by the foundation of y'all, man. So I just truly appreciate y'all for having this platform as a means of escape and community and joy, man. Like, truly, I consider y'all a second family as well.
Honestly, I wish I had something sappier to say, but, like, I don't know how much I can say thank you without it getting annoying, but, like, genuinely, like, thank just everybody, like, involved with this production, and really just for changing my life. It was it's a rough time going in from the pandemic till now, but now that we're out of the pandemic, I've had my doubts of whether or not BBTAG will stay, and, you know, maybe in 10 years it won't be here anymore, maybe even 20, but what I do know is that I've made a lot of wonderful memories here, and I don't think those will be irreplaceable. Through the bad, through the good, through all that has been, and through fucking PC tag.
Through PC tag!
Yeah!
Through fucking PC tag, you piece of shit port, not working for the past 5 years! I've stuck with you, and this is how you treat us?
The tournament almost didn't happen. Like,
if you're gonna take anything away from here to now, take away 2 things. The WNF crew is awesome, and they do a lot of amazing work, and you should hope to see what they're gonna do in the future. And fuck PC tag!
Fuck PC tag!
So true, so true. Spitting.
Oh my god.
Can I also say fuck Discord too? I was on the wrong mic the entire time.
That's
You still sounded clean though.
I was on my controller mic the entire time.
Oh my
so fuck
god!
you, Discord too. Why do you keep on changing my goddamn settings?
Yo, DualShock Lily is crazy.
The DualShock 5 has a decent mic for what it's worth. This is not an ad for Sony. However, it does have a decent mic. But still, fuck you, Discord. In all seriousness, like, I don't wanna dwell too much about my misgivings about certain technical difficulties. I know it's a very serious moment for everybody and everyone involved, and I can't even begin to describe how I really feel on the inside, but yeah, 5 years, baby.
True.
I'm with y'all. I have a lot more to say, but I'll just stick quick. But been a long ride.
So-
It's been a long night, and I don't think there's any other way we can close this out. Well, with me. So, I also want to say this. I know a lot of people were concerned. For the foreseeable future, we're not going anywhere. We're not leaving the scene. Just taking a break from what we've been of service to weekly. It's, you know, I'll have a lot more to say, and I do plan on doing a little write-up after I have everything in check, but you know, it's just as much as I enjoyed my time, you know, these things take a toll. Circumstances do change to where maybe it's not ideal for us to do these things. It's consistent. We'll still be around. We'll still support. I mean, you know, like I call it mercenary duty, but you know, like I'm still more than willing to help out this. The sense it goes for everyone in this club. But rest assured, we'll be around, and you know, a lot of people hold us in high regard. So if you ever feel lost in terms of this, in terms of what to do in the scene, I'm sure all of us will be willing to chat and give guidance. 7+ years of experience that we'll be here. But I think that's going to be it for us. Thanks again, Eric, for tuning in. This has been WNF Online Edition BBTAG episode 50, the last one. Thank you again, whether you're a participant or viewer or a little bit of both. You're always appreciated here, and you forever will be. But, as per usual, all good things just come to an end. So for now, stay safe, stay beautiful, drink your water, tell your friends and family you love them, but most importantly, shout-outs to Bird Gang!
Shout out to Bird
That's a
Gang!
bird gang.
See you all next time, take care, and have a good night. Peace.
Hey viewers, fans, and subscribers, welcome back as we continue the documentation here in the life of Wednesday Night Fights. So I'm going through one of my bookmarks here right now in order to go into that very highlight. This is from December 18th, where it happened, and then December 19th, which is the follow-up redaction that Ready30 had from his own tweet to another one in order to express the Google Doc. The Google Doc here is his official statement regarding the fall of Wednesday Night Fights and what's going to be happening going forward from his perspective. He's one of the founders of the brand. So we're going to be going through this here. The link for this is also going to be listed down below for you guys to also read at your leisure. A lot of the thoughts and emotions tonight. All in all, I thank you for being here. Whether it was one bracket or all of them, hopefully sometime tomorrow once I've calmed down, I plan on doing a large write-up and reflection of my thoughts and feelings. And then for here, redaction. Alright, I did a very free form from the heart reflection of these past several years with my time with WNF here. If you have some time and want to read my thoughts, here you go. I honestly wish I had a bit more time, but I wanted to at least share this for now. Alright, buckle up. Here we go. Alright, the day after the final WNF. Hey everyone, E30 here. I've been the streamer for WNF BBTAG for the past 7 years, and we just wrapped up our final WNF. I'd like to talk about my thoughts and reflection on that time. I don't want this to be super serious, so I'll probably be writing this in a very casual way. Please don't expect a professional level of cohesion. Thanks for your time if you decide to read all of it. I'm just going to take a small opportunity to gas myself up while reflecting on the work that I've done. Outside of WNF, I've provided a stream at least once for Heatwave, Project Tsukiyomi, Cloudburst, and the Training Mode Network. Especially early on, I've had doubts that my work was meaningful in any way. I've had doubts about my general performance in the work that I pride myself on often. But having people come to me asking if I can stream their tournament series or them being happy to have me on board is a nice feeling. With anything, even with my general enjoyment of BBTAG and how much I love and appreciate the scene at large, there's going to be ups and downs on how I feel about what I've done and whether or not I want to continue doing it. I've mentioned that there have been multiple instances of just dropping what I've been doing. All I can say is that I'm glad I never stopped. I'd rather have the way we ended WNF be the end of a chapter rather than something that stopped abruptly or poorly done, emotionally influenced closing. I'm sure there's people that will ultimately ask the question of why we stopped. The short answer for me is that I felt the burnout of doing this for so long start to linger, and I feared it would have taken its toll in an unhealthy way if I continued. There's a lot of reasons for this burnout. I'll share them here. First things first, doing this almost every Wednesday, only taking breaks for holidays and personal emergencies, will take a toll on you regardless of how much you love what you do. It only seems like a few hours, but I can say that it goes beyond that in terms of logistics. Cheap, having to make sure the bracket is seated, setting up the Matcherino and the bracket every Monday. I make sure that the slideshow and commands are up to date. I know there were a few events in the past where I had to go around and ask people for their graphics to put on the slideshow. It doesn't seem like much, but there are a few logistics that go into making sure that our streams are as consistent as possible. Another reason for my feelings of burnout isn't exactly a problem with the BBTAG scene specifically, but with the FGC as a whole. In the tag scene and outside of the tag scene and genre, I've witnessed several occasions of what I can only describe as an idolization for certain players for being able to play the game well. But those same people honestly have some pretty horrible and or toxic behaviors. Time and time again, I've seen those people go unchecked in their poor behavior. One of the biggest things that I've always hated is that some people are more than happy looking the other way when someone is being toxic all because they press buttons good. The tag scene has been better about it lately in terms of holding some of those people accountable for their words and actions. But early on for a while, some of these behaviors went unchecked. For me personally, it's always hard to coexist with toxic individuals. Seeing those same people get idolized for their in-game performance is draining to witness. For my last point of burnout, I'm going to be transparent in some ways, but I also like to keep it vague. Most of my inner circle knows the finer details, but I hope a baseline description will do. There's no nice way of putting it. My home is fucking toxic. I try not to show it, but my current living environment gives me a lot of stress, and I know it's caused me to act very emotionally charged. This is relevant as well, but I still need to wrap up my general education credits in college. Having a weekly commitment can put a pretty big hamper on things you want to do. On a related note, I appreciate my current work is able to accommodate me taking Thursdays off. Early on, I'd stream WNF, wrap up everything by 9-10 p.m., then wake up to go to work the following day at 4 a.m. Shit sucks, but I need the dollar. All in all, I need to refocus my priorities, go back to school, pick up more hours at work, and hopefully find a nicer paying job with better work times. This is all in the name of getting the fuck out of my current living situation and never looking back. Here's to brighter days. I've told a few people, but our decision to end our time with WNF was a deliberate decision that was made months before our announcement. We weren't sure how it would be received. I'm honestly still awestruck by the reaction. There was always something telling me that we'd be received negatively, but I'm forever appreciative that the overwhelming sentiment was that we'd be missed. The support and understanding was overwhelming, so thank you BBTAG scene for that. From my observation, I think it's wonderful that the scene is so dedicated that we spent the closing months with overwhelming support. It's also nice to see such initiative after our announcement to maintain some of the normalcy that the scene has come to love. I'm typing some of this out after seeing the BlazeBlue Direct, and it's comforting knowing that this scene will have more events outside of tournaments to do and enjoy on a weekly basis. Even with everything, I do have some regrets in the form of not being able to accomplish everything I wanted to do in terms of my time with WNF. We may not be done with our weekly stuff, but we've mentioned that this isn't the last tournament we host. I'll share a few here, but no guarantees we'll do them. I talked to a few people about it, but I had some interest in doing a WNF Global, basically a tournament with no region lock. But with how jank this port is, especially the PC side of things, it could have been done, but it would have been extremely scuffed in the process. Some other problems were that the logistics of coordinating with every time zone that entered would have been a nightmare. We were also thinking that we would have had to appoint community leads for each region to assist with language barriers. It would have been cool, but I wish the netcode and ports were better to make that a reality. I would have liked to host another ratio tournament. From the general feedback that we got, it seemed people really liked the format outside of a few outliners in terms of character placements. We said it before, but we went in with the idea that it be pretty limiting compared to previous other organizations' ratio tournaments. I think these ratio tournaments are nice. While I don't think the meta is solved, quote unquote, by any means, I think after 7 years of playing this patch, we have a solid idea who the strong characters are. I feel like I'm in a position where I should give some advice for those that are interested in doing what I've been doing for the past several years. First things first, I've always believed in the phrase, keep it simple with a lot of things. In terms of production, the less I have to do when organizing slides and transitioning between them, the better. I've been able to autopilot most of the things that I do on my end to make it a smooth experience. While I don't believe that things can't be done alone, it's always good to have a team that you can rely on to coordinate and lighten the load. I highly recommend working with a team. I feel like this doesn't have to be said, but if you do work with a team, please be with people you can actually be around. Cheap, Lonlily, and Atkins are all people I consider very close and dear to me, and it's always a motivation knowing that I can spend time around them, and them being there motivates me to do as well as I can and have done. I think one of the things people appreciated about WNF comes from that simplicity that we adopted. As Cheap said at the end of every week, we try to emulate some bit of the locals' experience. All in all, we didn't try anything more than just running a tournament. One of the things that we strived for is consistency with everything. I know there were a few outliers, especially like our last one running for basically 5 hours, LOL. We've always held the idea that we should respect everyone's time by trying to aim for that 2-3 hour block. I think most importantly, we all maintained this course for the love of the game. I could go on, but I feel like I should wrap this up soon. It's getting pretty late and I do have work. I wish I had more time to write this out, but I wanted to get this out before the day ends. I have a long list of thanks, but I'll say at least a few for the groups that have been around for a while. There's a few people I want to thank privately in the coming days. First and foremost, thank you to SoulCal BBTAG. Despite the nervous, very antisocial, and socially awkward person that I was when I first showed up to a WNF, you all accepted me with open arms. I never would have thought I'd meet some of the most important and influential people in my life. Thank you to the Intertwining Fates crew. After what happened to the original WNF Discord, you gave us a home that was convenient for anyone that has a competitive interest in BBTAG. The IF Discord server is a comfy place to be in, and I always find myself at least catching up on what people are doing there. This closes a bitty big chapter in my life, and I'm grateful for the people I've met along the way. The crew and I agreed that this is probably the best way we could have ended it. There's probably a timeline out there where we ended things abruptly because of an emotionally charged burnout. In short, we wanted to go out on our terms, while the love of the game is still strong in our hearts. As for me personally, I'll still be around, but I do want to focus on getting my life in order on top of working on personal projects. I've been wanting to draw more recently, as I have no shortage of ideas. I don't think a lot of people know, especially since I haven't talked about it recently, but my original character Sienna is a part of a story that I want to tell and publish eventually. She's the character that I feature on the channel. I've also been working with a friend on what's basically an alternate timeline that takes characters from his and my stories and has them interact in a nice way. Given my tag, I'm going to be taking more time to work on my car and maybe talk about it here and there. I hope you all will continue to support me. When the time comes, I hope you can read the stories and enjoy the characters I want to share. Thank you all for believing in us for the past few years. As we mentioned before, we're not done entirely, but we wanted to end this chapter of our lives on a positive note. For now, I'm going to take a long break and just wind down. I'm usually open and happy to chat, especially if you have questions about how I operated during my time in WNF. If you took time to read this, I thank you. Shoutouts to Bird Gang. Until next time, E30. So, looking back into my vault, when I think back to the earliest collaboration that I had with Wednesday Night Fights, we had a brief collaboration back during Iacon 25 and the trail up to Iacon 25. That was the second pinnacle for BBTAG from Iacon, and that was the 10th pinnacle of the Iacon battle circuit in general. So, I sought that program to be as inspiring as a set Ralston arcade episode, but to be bigger than my prior of Iacon 13. That was before I did the multi-person pinnacle assessment that I tried for. This was a multi-program collaborative that helped with creating the largest turnout to Iacon, yet at the time to the landscape. It's where we had TMNT, that's Training Mode Network, we had PCF when they were active, Pockets Crossing Fate, had RFL when they were fully active before RFL went down, that was Railfire Legion, Don Con in the Big 8 arcade, that's Icy Hater here in the Ralston arcade, Fade Friday with Genji G, Pastor Genji G, and Wednesday Night Fights here, all collaborated with Iacon in order to help really make that kick off. I know this was after Railfire Legion was lost earlier that same year, but the credit with Nuclear Taco and Naigi both is still there all the same, even if it's not expected. It's still respecting their influence on my scene and my reach. I don't know if Ready30 knew me like that at the time back then, or if my projects across the BBTAG console continuity at that time. I feel like we met in passing across Paragon. I also don't know if he had helped anywhere from that push, but I do know that it was also through his works, so there's a chance he could have. I do know MastrCheap and Crackin Atkins helped out big time in reaching people that I generally couldn't from that lens in this community. And by that I mean that they don't pay posts that much mind, despite the intention of honest engagement to another established scene in the ecosystem looking for more than the same. Those guys have played here and there or tried to come through, so the camaraderie was returned in order to receive and structure and bridge efforts. I have my tweet out here, as you can see, and the server post last year when all this had happened, and so when they were tagged at that event's conclusion. And all this will be listed down below. And I thank Wednesday Night Fights for really trying to help get my branding aloft in the scene and help it get a little bit more integrated. See, a new event surfaced the start of the week here, leading to the advent of a potentially new weekly or the attempt of one in the works. This was apparently known as AE, or Azure Encore, taking the general Wednesday evening slot held by the former. This is going to be, or attempting to be, a rotating back and forth assessment between PlayStation and PC on a supposed weekly rotating basis, barring issues. While surprising to me to a degree, this wasn't as shocking in the scene itself, depending on how in tune you are to proceedings revisited in the scene. I'm kind of surprised something like this exists so soon, no sooner after losing WNF, but I can be convinced that ultimately this was a part of a backdoor plan to kind of switch one in and switch one out for the other one after Ready30 and MastrCheap kind of retired the respective mantle. The details that I can look into here, I can see why Church would found her own server here, but in what I'm reading, the context, it doesn't feel sound to have a whole Discord kind of founded on the premise of illogical perms. And that's what kind of bothers me here when I'm looking back here in the conversation that she had with Midorliii. Like, there's a chance she was going to make her own Discord server anyways with Patneko in order to get that underway and get that aloft. But reading into detail here, just plainly, not even reading between the lines, just reading this plainly, it just feels like the whole server was founded on the premise of a misunderstanding instead of just an initial push to do just that. So you'll excuse me if I feel like there's a petty pivot in that or something. I wish the two of them the best of luck in going through with the efforts and trying to continue Ready30 and Cheap's design. I don't know where that's going to go or how consistent they can do it or what the team's going to look like, but if we're starting with those two, the team can expand out fairly expansively. So we can only hope for them the best. The link for Azure's Encore will be listed down below for you guys.
Well, hello there and welcome in everybody to the first episode of Azure Encore, a new BlazeBlue Cross-Tag Battle weekly tournament that is brought to you by Patneko as well as myself. I'm Church HB, and it is an honor to be able to say that we're doing this just in general as well as with the team that we've been able to put together over the course of the last few months, just trying to make sure that we can keep these monthly tournaments afloat as well as just keep everything just very exciting, because BBTAG in and of itself is super exciting. We are now several years into this game being released, and I gotta say, no matter how many times we see this game in tournament, how many brackets it's been, it's always super hype, super exciting, and the idea that we might see something new is always just there. Always just there. And I feel like we're gonna see a lot of new stuff today. We are going to see a lot of new stuff, but we are also going to see a lot of some returning things as well. Be it players, be it some other voices that you might hear here in a second, as well as maybe some gameplay. And it'll all be very exciting to see. Thank you all so much for joining us for the first episode of Azure Encore, as well as who we have in the booth tonight. Joining us this evening on commentary, we have Wednesday Night Fight very own MastrCheap, as well as Red E30. Thank you guys so much for joining in for this. It's an absolute honor and an absolute pleasure. I'll let you guys do intros and talk to a new and familiar audience.
Well, it's nice to be here once again on the Wednesday. Of course, new environment, new tournament, all of that. But it's still great to just be on the mic, be able to see some wonderful gameplay, and I'm looking forward to everything that we have as well. How about you, E30? You feeling the same way tonight?
I mean, new platform, new faces, and familiar faces, but I feel like with everyone in this call right now, it's the same vibe. So I think it's going to be a good time. Thank you again to Church and Patneko for allowing us to be the first pair of commentators for tonight. It's an honor to be here, and it's also an honor to call the action on who will be potentially the first champion tonight of our very first Azure Encore. So, again, real excited to be here. It's an honor to be here, and I think it's going to be a good time.
Absolutely, yeah. No, can't be stated enough how grateful I am that to be here commentating for this, and yeah, big shout outs to Patneko and Church for putting this together, and looking forward to seeing many of these to come in the future as well. But
all right, looking back here at Intertwining Fates, basically BlazeBlue Town Hall for the lack of a better term here. So looking at the date here, this is 12/19/2025. That's that Friday. That was the day after Wednesday Night Fights went down. So Midorliii, this is Midorliii. She's the Discord owner of Intertwining Fates. Now that the dust has settled in, mostly gotten everything with the Direct finished and posted, I'd like to take a little time to elaborate a little further on a couple of things. For those wondering about what the Direct is, that it was in her previous post from back at the beginning of November before Thanksgiving at the end of 2025. That was Intertwining Face that's going to be hosting and holding a BlazeBlue Direct on December 18th. That was the day after that post. It's going to be 10 minutes of events, trailers, reveals, informations, and then some other stuff going on in order to indicate that BBTAG wasn't going anywhere. They plan on trying to make it just as lively as it comes in order to just go into like a new era of crossing fate. Here's the trailer for those that want to know. That's basically that, and then everything's given. So to pick up where I last left off, so a little time to elaborate a little further on a couple of things. First off, a couple introductions are in order to make the next few events run as smoothly as possible. We expanded our team. Please welcome Myth as our South American representative. They'll be in charge of the South American branch for our tournaments, run cram sessions for their respective branches alongside South American talent. So Myth comes from the Ultimax server. Also part of the FGC. They play BlazeBlue, Guilty Gear, Blue Archives, and Umamasa Moose. Additionally, Shadow Jolteon, Jolteon, has showed us time and time again how talented he is at what he does. And we couldn't have done a lot of the work we did without his monumental amount of help. Please welcome him as our secondary primary animator. They picked nicely. I like Jolteon's work. Shadow Jolteon. We'll be welcoming more people as time progresses, but we believe this is sufficient for the time being, especially if IF Global, Intertwining Fates Global, ends up expanding to other regions too, potentially Japan, EU stuff if it goes well. But above all else, I wanted to give a warm thank you to all of you who came by and made last night special. The amount of compliments and congratulations the team got was almost overwhelming, and we're all incredibly grateful for your support. You all make this community what it is, and I can speak for us when I say I'm proud to be able to serve you all. Expect more from us soon. We'll be giving more updates on the announced events, as well as things that weren't quite able to make the direct in time. More specifically to those who are waiting for the next beginner exhibition, stay tuned. I have something special for you all. Let's keep up the momentum for the entire year. That was something else about 3.0. Merry Christmas. Okay, so Happy New Year from the East Coast. So this was the last one that goes into the start of 2026. This was also from Midorliii. Mark it here. So Happy New Year from the East Coast. 2025 was without a doubt a year to remember for us. Intertwining Fates has been a part of so many wonderful projects, such as introduction of the Cram session with over 300 plus streams between Sykes and I. Harbored WNF when the WW Discord was hacked and gave it a home. Restarted our beginner events and are currently planning a restructuring for later this month, later January 2026. Reached over 750 members, up to 300. I really see. Hosted a direct specific to us. Created over 40 plus VODs to review from player replays from those looking for them. It felt like a slower year in retrospect, but man, IF really was active this year. I don't think any of it could have happened if we didn't have a community to help critique, give thoughts, and scrutinize every mistake we've made to make each event as perfect as it can be. It's not a BBTAG stream without a little scuff, and I don't think that part will be leaving anytime soon. With Azure Encore, Global, Kick It Up, FMNF, and more on the way, here's to making 2026 one of the most lively years for BBTAG ever. And then you got and you got Crackin Atkins with the daily word slop. What the Wordle connections. Alright, well chat, that basically covers everything here that I could go over here regarding the rise. Well, the fall of one thing and then the rise of something else. So definitely leave your questions, comments, or concerns down in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to try to read them all. As would Ready30 if I get a chance to share this with him, or maybe MastrCheap, or Patneko, maybe Church. Whoever it is that would be interested in order to listen or hear you guys' inclusion. If there's anything that you wanted to do that also talked about the legacy of Wednesday night fights, or even talking about the new aspect and aspirations of Azure Encore, or Kick It Up, let me know. Leave your whole things down below. I'd be happy to try and take a look at them, you know? I'm going to take a little bit of time to still mourn what there was of Wednesday night fights and, you know, kind of be on with my day and be with my thoughts, you know? You guys take care out there. Till all are one, and Wednesday night fights, thank you for everything. Thanks, you guys. I mean that in the community. Thank you. Thank you so much for the years that you've given us.